Well, Jason Voorhees fans, we just got the short film Sweet Revenge, and in this video I will be giving you my review. So let's get into it. So to just reiterate my thoughts on the short film, I thought it was fun. It was nice to see a little something to hold us Friday the 13th fans off until we get the Camp Crystal Lake show. And yeah, it was just a fun short overall. It was pretty good. The story was good. The characters were good. Jason Voorhees himself was definitely something. We'll get into that later in the video, but to just wrap up this segment, it was fun. It was a good short film. So the first thing I want to talk about in this review is the cinematography, which is surprisingly really good in this movie. When you think of short films, you kind of think of like indie short films with crappy cinematography that looks like you're filming off a phone in your parents' basement. But no, this was actually movie level cinematography, and I was really surprised by that. Even when I saw the trailer for this, I was surprised that they were doing this. But yeah, I'm just really glad that they went with the cinematography that they did and shot it like a movie instead of a indie short film. So that was pretty cool. So the next thing I want to talk about in this review is the effects. The effects in this short film were actually really good as well, especially when it came to the kills. The kills in this movie were very creative. They were very gory, like horror movie level gore, which definitely surprised me the most. This even goes back to the cinematography. This was shot and filmed like a movie, and it seems like it had the budget of a movie to be pulling off crazy makeup effects like what we saw with the slit throats, you know? And I just did not expect that at all going into this. But yeah, the effects were really, really good in this short film. And as horror fans, we like the gore and we like the effects. So with this now having great effects, we could all be happy. So now I want to talk about this specific scene in the short film where our main lead character is in a little canoe on the lake, and the kid version of Jason pulls her in. Now, I really like this scene because it definitely reminds us all about the scene from the original where our main lead character in that movie got pulled into the lake as well at the end of the movie. So that was a cool little touch. It might have not been like a little callback or reference, but it was still nonetheless really, really cool to see in this short film, especially as a Jason Voorhees and Friday the 13th fan. So now I want to talk about the characters in this short film. I'm not really going to get into deep with each and every individual character because hell, we barely even know their names, but they were good supporting characters. You don't get much time with them because this is a short film. They basically arrive at their destination and all get murdered. Like, it's that fast, which there's no problem with that, but there's really nothing to talk about with characters in that case because nobody got developed. Everybody got killed literally like 5 seconds after they came on screen originally. And yeah, that's really it. So now I want to talk about Jason Voorhees in this short film. Now, this was definitely, for a lot of people watching, the most controversial part of this entire short film when we finally saw Jason. Now, it was cool to see Jason killing the characters, killing with his classic machete, but everybody's gonna have a problem with the mask and with the body structure of the actor playing Jason, because that's the main complaints I've been hearing online from other people who are reviewing this, like the proportions of the actor who's playing Jason and the mask, but not so much of the mask, more of like the proportions of this boy's body, which I do agree with that complaint, but it's Jason Voorhees. You're seeing him in a short film. You know, if this was him in an actual movie, I'd be pissed, but no, this is a short film, so it doesn't really matter, at least to me. I'm more focused on the mask because I really like the Jason Voorhees mask, but in this short film, the mask was meh. I'm telling you, if I ever see that in a feature-length film, I am coming after the director, but I don't think we're ever gonna see that mask again, thankfully, but it is the design for the Jason Universe channel and the logo for the Jason Universe, so we're gonna be seeing a lot more of that. But as of Jason in this short film, he was really cool. He provided all the action, all the horror, and he was a really entertaining part of this short film. But like I said, the actor's body proportions, like, it's not the big bulky version of Jason Voorhees that we're used to. It was like kind of like if a teenager played him. Like, he was so small. He was short, he was not so well proportioned, you know, like the clothes looked baggy on him. It looked like a teenager just put on the mask and some clothes and went after some people. But still, nonetheless, it was cool to see Jason, but it wasn't cool to see him like that, with that mask, with those body proportions. Like, it was just, it's mixed, honestly. It's mixed. Like, I love the fact that we saw Jason, we saw him doing what he does best, killing, but we saw that awful mask and just the bad proportions. Now, honestly, I don't really want to hate on Jason. He's one of my favorite horror icons, but I really don't know why I am, because this is a short film. It's not gonna have like a million million, over like $2 million in budget, because obviously if they did, they'd have a better mask. But that's enough complaining about the mask. It's an okay mask at best. Like, at best, it's an okay mask. Well, with all of that being said, now I want to just give my final thoughts. Overall, it was an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this short film. It was a nice thing to do for the Jason Voorhees and Friday the 13th fans to hold us over until the Camp Crystal Lake show, and it was just an overall really good short film. But that's just my reaction to Sweet Revenge. So with all that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.